Good afternoon, it's Dave at ATI Watch Reviews. Please smash that like button. Please smash that subscribe button for more awesome watch content. Little wristwatch check. Got my Pagani design diver on. PD 1696. Fully solid stainless steel bracelet. Big heavy duty clasp. Pepsi bezel. Sapphire dome crystal. Automatic. Beautiful. But today's video is a Gshock comparison between two Master of G-Shocks. They are both unbelievable in their own right. They are both somewhat similar in features and performance, but are quite distinct in looks and the band really. But I'll just go over. On my left, I have the Gr-B200 1A, which is a Gravitymaster model, an aviation watch. It also doubles up as a kind of trekking watch, whereas this one is a straight trekking watch. It's a military-esque trekking watch. And this is the Gg-B100 Mudmaster. So Gravitymaster and Mudmaster. They are both 200 meter water resist, as is most G-Shocks, so you can take them diving. They are both mineral crystal, but they're both carbon core guard. They both have carbon fiber bezels, which are slightly different in their own right, but still very similar. They both have the mission log functionality, and they're both quad sensor. So they both have the compass, altimeter, barometer, pedometer, and thermometer, and sunrise, sunset functionality, world time, you name it, it's probably got it. They both do not have, they both are battery powered, and they are both not multiband or solar, but they're Bluetooth enabled, so you can connect them to your phone, get perfect timekeeping all year round. They are not actually connected now, or one of them is and one of them's not. That's why they don't have the perfect time. But you can connect them both. You can connect multiple to the Gshock app. You can download it from the App Store, and it works perfectly fine. So that's an overview. Let's start off with sizing. The sizing is where there is going to be a bit of a difference. They're both huge watches, so don't be under any illusion that they're small. Having said that, the one that feels smaller on the wrist is, guess what? The one on the right. And that's because the width of it, the diameter you might call it, is only about 52 point something. And the lug to lug is slightly smaller, depending upon where you measure it from though, however. But the thickness of this model of the Mudmaster is actually slightly thicker. It's more like 18, 19 mil. To the top of the bezel points here, not to the crystal. To the crystal, it is a lot thinner. It is a lot thinner, and same with this one. This one is not 18 mil to the crystal. It's a lot lower than that. It's a few mil lower. This one is more like, Casio say it's 63. I didn't measure that. I measured more like 59 mil, and I measured about 54 mil diameter. But nonetheless, compared to this one, the smaller on the wrist feels like the Mudmaster, but it is heavier by 12 grams, which you can actually notice a little bit. And the Mudmaster has the wrist supports, the plastic wrist supports, that do affect comfortness. Some people love them, and some people say they want them on every Casio or every G-Shock. Some people hate them and say I never want them on any. I've learnt to wear them, but I have to wear this watch on a lower wrist setting, a lower, clasp setting, a bit looser, because otherwise it gets too sweaty if I have it too tight because of those wrist supports. Whereas the Gravitymaster on my left, I can wear it as what I would typically expect to wear in a typical tightness, because I'm not bothered about the wrist supports because it doesn't really have any. So for sizing wise, it's horses for courses. but I think most people would prefer the sizing of the Mudmaster. So I think the Mudmaster slightly wins on the sizing. Okay. When it comes to bezels, they both look super similar because ultimately they are super similar. They both have a stunning carbon fibre weave based into them. I'll just show you one at a time so it's easy to see. Inside that bezel is a piece of carbon fibre, right? It looks like it's tessellated. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks like a hologram almost. And this one, the Mudmaster, also has it, but they are different, and they're different because the polish they've put on them. The Gravitymaster on my left has a much more sheeny, well, a much more shiny, yeah. It has a beautiful sheen to it, a reflective sheen on the bezel. Whereas on the Mudmaster, it's matte. Whereas I would call that glossy, actually. Whereas the Mudmaster is a matte. Now I actually do prefer the shinier one on the Gravitymaster. I think it looks better. But for that watch, for the Mudmaster, it probably is more appropriate to put a kind of like satin matte finish on the bezel. So I'm going to give the bezel winner. This is just a personal taste. I'm going to give it to the Gravitymaster, but it is purely an aesthetic taste. It has nothing to do with performance. Let's talk about crystals. They're both mineral, but again, I'm not bothered about that. Mineral crystal, no matter what people tell you, well, I'm not a scientist, so I'm just repeating what I've read online. I can post the sources. Mineral crystal is slightly more shatterproof than sapphire. Now, that's not to say that they couldn't have made a mineral crystal with a bit of sapphire coating on it to get the best of both worlds, but the fact is it is more shatterproof than sapphire crystal, and I can post you the links down below that state that. So it's not just a clear cut of I want sapphire crystal, I don't think, because these minerals that Gshock use, I don't scratch them. I don't know what it is. I bang them everywhere, on doors, on tables, on walls, I bang them on everything, okay, when I'm playing sport and stuff, and I don't have any issue with scratching them. Now, I've scratched cheaper Casios. I've scratched the Duro. I've scratched that to high heaven. That has a terrible mineral. Whatever they've used in that, it is crap. That's the cheapest diver in the world, one of the cheapest divers. It's like 50 quid, 45 quid on Amazon. Or it was when I bought it 4 years ago. And it's 200 meter dive watch, and it's a fantastic cheap watch off Casio, but the mineral crystal on it is a pile of... it really is not good. I scratched it so easily in Thailand. But anyway, these ones I don't scratch. Now, I don't know whether that's because the bezels are so protrusive that, you know, they're proud by a good few mil, that you don't really bang. If it comes into contact with something, it more likely comes into contact with the bezel. But anyway, they're both slightly domed mineral crystals. And the great news is they're both not super reflective. I know you can see a reflection there, but when they're on the wrist outside, they're totally fine and super legible. I'm going to give, because I'm not a big fan of domes anyway, I'm going to give the winner to the Mudmaster, because I believe that the Gravitymaster is slightly more domed, so you get slightly more distortion from other angles when you're looking through the dome on the Gravitymaster than you do on the Mudmaster. Talk about the bezel. Let's talk about the dials in general. The dials are fantastic. This is again horses for courses. They're both clearly sporty tooly watches. They both look somewhat similar because they both have the location indicator. Trying to get it to focus. They both have the location indicator compass bearings on there. They both have the LCD window below. Just looking there, it does appear that the particular colour they've used on the Mudmaster is more legible on the LCD than the green they've used on the Gravitymaster. You can see that it does look a little bit more legible on the Mudmaster. But dials, I'm going to give the winner again to the Mudmaster, and I'm going to give it to the Mudmaster because personally I prefer the indices to have some numerals on there. It does actually assist with telling the time. Having it like this where you've got north, south, east, west with the 12, 3, 6, 9 indices is better in my opinion. Having said that, oh well, yeah, and I think it looks slightly more balanced. The Mudmaster dial, the Gg-B100 dial, this one looks slightly more balanced than this one, but it's not a bad effort by any stretch of the imagination. The reason why, oh, 1 second. Yeah, no. So the dials are both obviously fantastic. They both are designed for all the functionality of the watch, which is the mission logs, the location indicator, compass, all that stuff. So ultimately, they're both very similar dials, but I'm going to give the winner again. I mean, I'm just looking there, you can even see. Yeah, there's markings as well on the outer chapter ring. There's numbers there. And there is also on this ring here, on the Gravitymaster. Most people will not use all these functionality. Some will though, definitely, if you use that location indicator. That's basically where you can put a location into like the phone, into the app, well, on the watch, and the watch will then tell you the direction to get to that location. So it's got loads of cool, like, novel features like that, that you just don't find in other watches that are designed for trekking watches, that kind of thing. So dials, I give a slight edge to the Mudmaster, and I do that overall because I think the dial is more balanced and it looks slightly better and it's more legible slightly, but it's only 1 mark lower, the Gravitymaster. And if we're talking about overall appearance, I would also give the winner to the Mudmaster because I think this has an iconic look. Even though this is not far off the Gravitymaster, but it has a more memorable appearance in my opinion, and it looks a little bit less spaceshipy and a little bit less sporty, does the Mudmaster to this one, which is not going to be to everyone's taste, even if it is to my taste. Okay, functions and features, again, they're both super similar, and I'll try and run through them both at the same time if I can do that. They both have basically a very similar function set with the quad sensors, barometer, temperature, sunset, sunrise, stopwatch, timer, alarms, world time, back to time, and then obviously you've got all the compass, altimeter, connect to Bluetooth, connect to the app. I've showed you already on the, well, go and check out my my Mudmaster review if you want to see how the mission logs works. The mission logs is a feature where you turn it on and it starts, obviously it's synchronized to the app, so it gets the GPS locations, and it basically tracks your movements, tracks distance, speed, you know, how far you've traveled, the altitude you was at, all that stuff. It also tracks, it'll also show you any photographs that you took during the logs and other stuff. And basically both watches have the mission log feature through the smartphone link. I'm not going to show it you in this video, but like I said, I'll put a link down to my Mudmaster review if you want to use that. That's for the trekking features. And also, I'm not going to show you the location indicator, but you can turn it on, and I could show it you actually. Maybe I'll show you that in a different video. But basically, for features and functions, they're both 200 meter water resist. They're both Bluetooth enabled. I'm going to give it a draw. There's very similar functionality there on both watches. Case backs, stainless steel. Now this is a plastic. I prefer stainless steel, so I'm going to give the winner to Gravitymaster on my left. The bread and butter, well, it's not the bread and butter on these watches, but one of my bread and butter. So case backs, I give the winner to the Gravitymaster because it has stainless steel above plastic. Now then, getting on to the what I call bread and butter, because it affects the feel of the watch, the comfort, and that's one of the main things that you'll wear the watch for, is the straps and clasps. And this is where there is going to be a little bit of difference. But there is a winner on the weight, and the winner is Gravitymaster. Even though it's bigger, it is only 80 grams, 80 grams nominal. Whereas this one is 92 grams. So even though it's smaller, it is heavier, the Mudmaster. Probably because it has the additional mud resistance that has different, hardware in it to give it the additional resistance to dirt and ingress, basically, mud ingress. So it is lighter. The Gravitymaster is lighter than the Mudmaster. Now then, the bread and butter for me is the bands and the bracelet, which is going to affect it. Now, so there is difference definitely in the bands and the clasps, and it's not focusing right. But anyway, let's start off with the Gravitymaster. The Gravitymaster has a more standard plastic resin that you find on some of the cheaper G-Shocks actually, but it is super comfortable. That's a benefit. It's a twin tang clasp and buckle design, but it is a cheap plastic, and I've no idea, and the plastic is not that great that they put on this Gravitymaster. I don't know why. I have no idea why they've done it and not put a stainless steel clasp and keeper. I don't know why. Well, not even keeper. That doesn't need to be stainless steel. That can be plastic. But the buckle should be stainless steel. Now then, let me put them on. That's compared to the Mudmaster, which has a more tougher and a more thicker. I'll just show you how thick they are compared to each other. The Mudmaster is definitely thicker. It's thicker and it's more sturdier. It's not as supple. But for me, it is still very comfortable if you wear it on a lower setting. But a lot of people have complained and said they don't like it. But I don't mind this. I don't mind either of them. So for comfort, okay, I think the particular resin they've used in this one, even though it's not as strong, well, it's because it's more supple, I think this is comfier, the Gravitymaster. I'll put them back into the correct hands so that they don't get confused. The Gravitymaster on the left is comfier, in my opinion. The band is comfier. However, the clasp is poorer. It is not as good. Even though it's a twin tang design, the plastic is crap, okay? But it still works okay. It's still functional. It's just, I don't know why they've done it. Compared to the stainless steel buckle and tang on this, which is again a twin design and works perfectly fine, and I like it. So I'll put them on my wrist for a wrist shot. Absolutely beautiful watches. Eye catchers, stunning, performance, functionality, the lot in both of them. They are stunning watches, there's no question about it. They are my favourite beta watches now. I wear them every day. I absolutely love them. They're great holiday watches. I don't use all the functions and quad sensors and all that. Of course I don't. I'm not that kind of a person. I'd take them diving if I was going diving in Thailand. But they look fantastic, definitely. I recommend them 100%. They're a very similar price in RRP, around £300 odd. So I do definitely recommend both of them. Overall winner for me, and it's a horses for courses, for me, the overall winner is the Mudmaster, the Gg-B100. It's slightly better sized and the look is more iconic and is more versatile and looks better, and the indices are better. Actually, I will show you as well. I'll show you a loom shot. Gravitymaster loom. Mudmaster loom. Both very good actually. The loom is actually it's very similar. The hands are better loomed on the Mudmaster, but I like the 12 how it's loomed. I love that on the Gravitymaster. But yeah, overall, in my opinion, the Mudmaster is slightly superior for the sizing and the looks, but the Gravitymaster for some people will be considered comfier because it's lighter and the band is comfier, in my opinion. So it's a horses for courses one, but it is bigger physically. You know, it's more bulkier, even though it's lighter. So it's a horses for courses. I'm going to pick the Mudmaster slightly, but I like them that much. I'm keeping them both. I love them. They are in my standard rotation. It's been Dave. I'm going to continue to bring you the best affordable, rugged, all-round watches that I can find. I love Casio. I love these G-Shocks. I do. They are my favourite watches. Thanks a lot for checking my channel out. Have a great day.